Good afternoon and welcome back to the workbench. Today things are a little bit different, as you can probably tell, and I may talk about that in another video sometime. However, today I shall talk about this microphone here, which you can probably see as well, and also I imagine here. The difference possibly, I'm not using my headset today. I decided to test this out just for fun and see what it's like. It's a MXL, which I think is a division of Marshall or something. It's an AC404 USB microphone. It's what's called a boundary microphone, I think. It's used for conference calls and stuff like that. You'd put it in the middle of a conference table, or well, at the end of the conference table, I think, really. The back part faces your television and speakers and whatever you're using to communicate with, and the other part faces the table and picks everyone up around the table. At least that's the idea. It has, I think, 3 microphones in it. One out the side and one out the front and one out the other side, or something like that. Other ones you can 360-degree ones and other stuff. Various different things. This is a rather cheap one. It's only about $100. But yeah, I bought it because last year I was going to possibly use it for that particular kind of reason, and never ended up using it really for that, and decided to give it a try here and see what it was like, see if it was better than using the headset, which is kind of annoying to wear something all the time. We'll see how it goes and we'll see what happens. But anyway, today's video is about this paper shredder here, which as you can probably tell, most of you can probably tell by looking at it, it's a paper shredder, if you've ever seen one of these before. This is a TCM 2083 or 212083. I don't know. It seems to be German. Everything written on it is in German, apart from the words on the front. The label, model, everything's all in German. And the plug is not the original plug. I can tell this has been added on separately. So the brand is Alto, which is a common brand over here in New Zealand. And it doesn't match the cord, and it's been, it's a custom one with screws you can put on yourself. So someone's either imported this from Germany or brought it over with them or something. So it was sold as unneeded and works fine, apparently. And we all know how that goes. Well, it does work in the sense that it shreds stuff, and that seems to function alright, but it also has an automatic function which doesn't seem to work at all. It has reverse, it has forward, and then the auto is basically just the same as forward. It just doesn't work automatically. It just works continuously as you would in the normal position. So that's kind of annoying. There is a little switch inside here. I'll get a close up in a minute. There's obviously a switch in there, and there's a thing that says auto and an arrow pointing to it. And I suppose when you put the paper in, it's supposed to trigger a little micro switch or something that activates some kind of control circuitry and turns the motor on, and then when the paper's gone through, it probably has a delay to make sure it goes through all the way, and then it turns off afterwards. But unfortunately that doesn't work. It just runs continuously, as I'll demonstrate here. So if I plug it in, and this will probably be quite noisy, so yeah, anyway, plug this in. Let's see it activates straight away. And it does work. Just put some advertising in here because I hate advertising. It shreds. So you can see it obviously shreds paper just fine, but yeah, it doesn't have an automatic activation feature with that switch, which I find annoying. I would like that to work. So yeah, there's a few things I imagine that could be. I mean, it can't be the motor because that obviously functions fine. The switch itself could be jammed or faulty in some way, I imagine, or the control circuitry could be faulty. Could be like a shorted transistor that drives the motor or something, or maybe there's some kind of feedback network that's faulty, like an open circuit resistor or something, and it's causing a problem. I'm just thinking about what I said before, that there's probably a delay after it switches on to make sure the paper is fully shredded before it switches off. Possibly a timing problem. It could be that there's some sort of issue with a timing capacitor, which could be dead and never charges up, and so the time never runs out, sort of thing. Something like that. So yeah, anyway, we'll open it up and have a look. I might open this plug too and have a look and see how that's done, see if it's been done properly. It probably is. It seems to work, but yeah, always interesting to have a look at other people's wiring. That sounds a bit rude, doesn't it? But anyway. Right, so I'll move the camera closer up and we can open this up and see if I can figure out what's wrong with it. And hopefully get the automatic switch to function as intended. I assume that's what it's supposed to do. I mean, I haven't been able to find a manual for this. I haven't been able to find a website. There's no website listed on the labelling or anything. Search for TCM shredder, and it turns up some Chinese company that sells industrial shredders for like, you know, car bodies and shredding building waste and all sorts of things like that. They're certainly not paper shredders from Germany, so I don't know. Maybe I didn't look properly. Maybe I'll find it later, but we'll see. Anyway, so that's that. Alright, let's have a close-up look at this thing, and the keen-eared among you have probably noticed that I've just switched back to my headset again, because that other microphone was causing some glitches with OBS, and the video was freezing and the audio was cutting out. Fortunately, didn't affect the actual recording segment I previously just did, but I don't want to risk that again, so until I figure out what's going on with that, I'll just go back to my headset. So there we go. Anyway, so yeah, I thought, like I said, first I'm going to have a look at this plug just for fun, see how it's been done. It's always interesting to see. So let's have a look inside here. Take that off, and there we go. That actually looks pretty good. The colours are correct. Brown is to active and blue is to neutral. It makes sense for here. There's no earth because this is just a 2-wire device with no metal casing, so that's fine. And the screws are nice and tight, so yeah, no bare strands shorting out or anything funny. The cable's not squashed. It's all looks fine, so that's nice. So I can leave that like that. Yeah, anyway, maybe a little bit of paranoia, but I always like to know what's going on. Anyway, there we go. So that's that. The plug's nice. Let's have a look in here and see if we can figure out what's going on. Will this fit? No, it will not. Alright. Let's take this apart. I'll just put these screws in the same positions as they were in the device, because just in case there are different lengths. They probably aren't. Something like this, the lengths are usually all the same, but you never know, so it's always interesting to make sure. Okay. No, they're all the same length, so that's fine. Alright, so how does this work? Oh, that looks tasty. Interesting. Okay, we got a bunch of stuff in there. We've also got a lot of paper dust and bits and pieces there, which is interesting. Okay. Let's see, how does this come out? Well, that should just slot out of there, I think. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So the top part comes off there, and we've got, yeah, a lot of dust. So, that's a good enough reason to open it anyway. Get rid of all that. Yeah, not very good to have a lot of paper dust around a motor like that. It's a bit of a fire hazard, isn't it? Well, we can figure that out later. So what I'm seeing here, this is in fact just a little micro switch. Yeah, it seems just to be, honestly, it just seems to be physically jammed. Actually. There's no smart control or anything here. It's literally just a micro switch with a little thing, and it's jammed. I mean, it's not completely jammed, but it's sticky, so it's just, yeah, it'll stick in the on position and won't stop. So I don't know if that's the switch itself or the mechanism here. I'll unscrew that and I'll just have a look. Okay, so the switch does seem to return fine when it's out of this, so it's obviously just jamming up in here. So it could be that this this mounting thing is misaligned somehow, although that doesn't really make sense. It seems to have like little alignment sticks and things, so it's possibly just dirty. Possibly. Yeah, as soon as it goes into here it jams up, so something is not right there. I think it just needs a good clean. In fact, I can see some paper stuck there in between the bit that activates. So if we get that paper out of there, a lot of dust. Not surprising really when you think about it, I guess. Alrighty, so yeah, there's a bit of paper stuck there. It's stuck in that thing. That might have been it. Just take this paper dust out. It's all stuck together with grease. Right. Now let's get this all back in there. Still some more paper stuck around here, but that's probably not the problem. Right, let's put this back in. See, that sits there. Nope, it still jams. I can't tell what it's jamming on. Oh, there we go. Now it works. I think this just wasn't seated down in the case properly. Right, so when I screw this back together, the screws should hold the shredding mechanism back in place, and it should actually make sense. So, looks like that's all it was. Very simple problem. Just a bunch of dust. Makes perfect sense when you think about it, but of course, yeah. Easy to overlook, I suppose. Yep. Seems right. Alrighty. How does this go back together? There we go, that seems correct. Still getting some funny glitches. That's annoying. I don't know what's going on there. I just installed a bunch of updates because this computer hasn't been used for a while, so it's possible that one of those did something stupid. Great. That's always fun, isn't it? Yeah, the switch is now, I don't know if you can see that, but the little plastic bits of the switch are now matching together properly, so it looks like that should work. Let's plug it in again and see what happens. Alright. Haha! It doesn't immediately turn on. Let's try it in forward. Yep. So that makes sense. It works forward and backwards, but not in auto. And now if I stick a piece of paper in it, it's got an old receipt here, don't need. Let's see what happens. Ah, excellent. Look at that. So there we go. That was it. A jammed switch from too much dust build-up. Excellent. I guess that's fixed. That's a win. So we didn't even need to get out the soldering iron. Just had to clean off a bunch of dust. So that's that. If anyone has one of these and it's doing the same thing, that's probably your problem. It's probably just jammed up. So there we go then. This paper shredder works perfectly fine. It was just stuffed full of old junky bits of paper and dust and stuff. So yes, a bit of a simpler fix than I had anticipated. I thought might have been a bit more complicated, but now that I think about it, having just a micro switch that switches the AC directly makes sense. That's the lowest cost possibility, I suppose. And it looks like the profile of that switch actuator thing is designed to keep the switch depressed until the paper is completely gone through, so it does actually make sense. No sort of timed control circuit needed, so yeah, anyway, so I'm happy with that. The thing now works as it's supposed to, and there's not a pile of dust in there ready to catch fire, which is also a bonus. So that's great. So for $5.50, paper shredder and the waste paper basket that came with it was actually quite nice. So anyway, that's that for today. Hopefully I'll have something a bit more interesting next time, and yeah, anyway, but I'm trying to figure out what the heck is wrong with my computer, because there's something funny going on with the recording setup here. I thought it was this microphone, but it doesn't appear to be. It looks like there's something else wrong, so that's great. Probably some new update has messed something up. Yeah. The joys of software. I absolutely can't stand it. Oh well, hopefully that was interesting. See you next time.